Hello, everybody. David Shuster here. One of the most powerful media figures on the U.S. right is podcaster Joe Rogan. And now even Rogan is blasting the sloppy nature of Trump migrant deportations.
You got to get scared that people who are not criminals are getting, like, lassoed up and deported and sent to, like, El Salvador prisons. Like that kind of shit.
Rogan specifically mentioned the case of a gay Venezuelan makeup artist named Andre. Andre's lawyer recently spoke on MSNBC.
He came seeking asylum. Upon entry into the United States, he was detained because of his tattoos, some of which you can see in those photos, but these are not the tattoos of somebody who is involved with gangs. These are normal tattoos that you would see on anybody at a coffee shop anywhere in the United States or Venezuela.
According to documents filed by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, or ICE, the only evidence that ICE listed for Andre's purported membership in a Venezuelan gang is a tattoo of a crown with the word "Mom" written below. But Google reverse imaging shows the tattoo has nothing to do with the Tyrannical gang. Podcaster Konstantin Kiesin agreed the arrest was appalling.
A human being plucked out of nowhere and ending up in a country he's never been in a maximum security prison with gang members, seems like a bad thing to happen to me.
It's horrific. It's horrific.
I don't think that should be controversial.
No, that's not controversial at all. And this is the thing, measure twice, cut once.
Yeah.
This is kind of crazy that could be possible. That's horrific. And that's bad for the cause. Like, the cause is, let's get the gang members out. Everybody agrees. But let's not innocent gay hairdressers get lumped up with the gangs. And then, like, how long before that guy can get out? Like, can we figure out how to get him out? Is there any plan in place to alert the authorities that they've made a horrible mistake and correct it?
A U.S. judge has been notified about the arrest of the innocent man, but the Trump administration is refusing to comment except to say that the matter is now up to authorities in El Salvador. U.S. courts have no jurisdiction over El Salvador, and the Trump administration is clearly not in any hurry to admit even to a judge that the administration has made any mistakes. On this day, Trump spokesperson Caroline Leavitt refused to even admit the Department of Homeland Security's own guidelines and system for using tattoos to identify gang members. As this form, first published by The Independent, shows, a migrant to be validated as a Tyrannical member only needs to score 8 points on a checklist. Having tattoos and wearing certain streetwear, absent anything else, can get a migrant the 8 points. Independent reporter Andrew Feinberg.
You can get classified by simply having certain symbols in your tattoos and wearing certain streetwear brands. That alone is enough to get someone classified as TDA and sent to El Salvador.
That's not true, actually, Andrew.
According to this document, it is.
No, according to the Department of Homeland Security and the agents, have you talked to the agents who have been putting their lives on the line to detain these foreign terrorists who have been terrorizing our communities? TDA is a vicious gang that has taken the lives of American women. And our agents on the front lines take deporting these people with the utmost seriousness, and there is a litany of criteria that they use to ensure that these individuals qualify as foreign terrorists and to ensure that they qualify for deportation. And the president made it incredibly clear to the American public that there would be a mass deportation campaign of not just foreign terrorists, but also illegal criminal aliens who have been wreaking havoc on American communities. And shame on you and shame on the mainstream media for trying to cover for these individuals who have. This is a vicious gang, Andrew. This is a vicious gang that has taken the lives of American women.
Feinberg pointed out that he's not trying to cover for terrorists. He's simply trying to understand why the Trump administration is using tattoos and streetwear to make determinations about gang activity, as opposed to presenting evidence of criminality or terrorism to the courts and following constitutional due process.
The government filed in court which says all.
And you said yourself there are 8 criteria on that document.
They need 8 points.
And you are questioning the credibility of these agents who are putting their life on the line to protect your life and the life of everybody in this group and everybody across the country. And their credibility should be questioned. They finally have a president who is allowing them to do their jobs, and God bless them for doing it.
But the issue is that ICE agents, at least in some cases, are doing their jobs without any regard for the Constitution. And the U.S. Constitution gives due process rights to everybody who's in the United States, even undocumented migrants. But that point about following the law seems lost on Caroline Leavitt and others in the Trump administration. Their strategy seems to be to let law enforcement and ICE agents deport anybody they want. And if innocent people get swept up, well, shame on the media and lawyers for reporting on the mistakes. As Joe Rogan noted in his criticism of the Trump deportations, this is not complicated. Nearly all of us agree that terrorists and violent criminals should be deported out of the United States. But there is a lawful way to do this, and there is an unlawful way. The lawful way, as our Constitution and the courts have articulated, is to give the accused a chance to defend themselves and make their case in front of a judge at a hearing. The unlawful way is to look at somebody's tattoos and streetwear, sweep that person off the street, deny them any due process, and put them on a plane to a foreign prison. That process is outrageous, tyrannical, and unconstitutional. And even Joe Rogan, a staunch supporter of the Trump administration, sees that the deportation efforts have gone too far, too quickly, and are, as Rogan said, horrific. By the way, the Trump economic disaster in the United States is getting worse by the day.
Problematic situation.
Minutes after the opening bell, U.S. markets plunged once again.
This morning, Wall Street is bracing for the launch of President Trump's massive tariffs, which start on Wednesday. Ahead of that, Trump is now saying he could care less if automakers raise prices, following his pledge to impose 25% tariffs.
No one knows what the going on. One White House ally close to Trump's inner circle told Politico the president has signaled that more than $1 trillion in trade could be affected.
There's a lot of uncertainty still about whether it will be applied to the whole world or to the 15 markets where we have the biggest trade deficits or some other lesser impact. But potentially we are moving away from the rules-based system that was embodied, as you said, in about 80 years of work on the international scene to create the GATT, to create the WTO, to create a series of rules that now more than 160 countries live by. And the U.S. is now going to potentially move into a world where we're doing everything on a bilateral basis. And one question is, how do the rest of the world respond? One, they'll respond by retaliating against us, but will they continue to follow the multilateral rules-based system, or will they too begin to do a series of bilateral deals? And will the work of the last 80 years basically be undone?
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from Apophis, who wrote, "The guy with a gold toilet doesn't care about your money problems? Who could have guessed?" I hear you. I look forward to reading your comments about Joe Rogan blasting the reckless nature of the Trump deportation policy. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.